single, synchronized alert. A direct, kinetic war between the United States and Iran has begun. A frantic diplomatic scramble triggers instantly across world capitals. In New Delhi, India's prime minister intervenes, opening direct lines to the Iranian president in a desperate bid to gauge the immediate fallout. For decades, Washington and Tehran operated under a fragile, unspoken deterrence. They fought through regional proxies and shadow operations, carefully avoiding actions that would force the other into an overt military response. Direct military engagement has replaced the shadow games of the past, turning a long, simmering Cold War into an active, unpredictable conflict. Military focus is now locked onto a single coordinate deep within central Iran, Natanz. This satellite view shows the Natanz facility, Iran's primary uranium enrichment site. Striking a complex of this scale represents a massive escalation. Pushing into these central structures, targeting the core of Iran's nuclear infrastructure deep within sovereign territory, forces a total shift in regional security. Crossing this red line means Tehran will not limit its retaliation to a neat bilateral exchange. The response will be an asymmetric, multi-front campaign spanning the entire region. The immediate U.S. reaction relies on mass and speed. The Pentagon is surging conventional forces and military assets into West Asia to brace for the counterattack. Iran cannot match this surging American military power head-on. Their strategic reality forces them to look outward, directly across the narrow, vital choke point of the Persian Gulf. To level the playing field, Tehran is threatening states hosting American assets. They have issued explicit warnings of heavy strikes against the United Arab Emirates. Specifically, they are pointing toward Ras Al Khaimah. This is a northern emirate in the UAE that sits roughly 50 miles from the Iranian coastline, positioned directly on the edge of the Strait of Hormuz. Threatening a wealthy Gulf ally's economic hubs and key U.S. staging grounds forces the United States to defend a massive perimeter. It diffuses American military focus and drives up the economic cost of the conflict. The fallout is actively bleeding across continents. The threat radius has expanded far beyond the immediate waters of the Middle East. Fresh intelligence indicates that U.S. diplomatic missions and embassy buildings worldwide are now in the crosshairs, identified as vulnerable targets for proxy retaliations. Iranian retaliation tactics prioritize these diplomatic hubs, treating every embassy as a potential target in an expanded combat zone. This massive geographic spread forces Washington to look away from other critical zones, like sub-Saharan Africa. Here, the focus falls squarely on Nigeria. The U.S. military is currently orchestrating an American return to Nigeria, a complex initiative aimed at stabilizing the region and countering local insurgencies. As the Gulf conflict consumes billions in emergency funding and specialized drone assets, the Nigerian mission faces a sudden resource vacuum. High-end surveillance and logistical support promised to Abuja is being redirected to protect Gulf allies. By prioritizing the escalating crisis in the Middle East, the U.S. risks losing its foothold in Africa, creating a security blind spot for rival powers to exploit. The Natanz strike forced a total recalculation of regional power, redrawing the strategic map of the Middle East. Historically non-aligned nations, or those like the UAE who spent years carefully balancing relations between Washington and Tehran, are now caught completely in the crossfire. This chart shows the projected exponential spike in U.S. military spending over the coming years, compared to flatlining domestic investments. The economic burden of managing this multi-front reality pushes the global stakes into the trillions of dollars. In a hyper-connected military landscape, the idea of two nations trading blows in a neatly contained vacuum is entirely obsolete. The United States is locked into a sprawling, multi-continental crisis with no easy exit. A single targeted strike has guaranteed a global fallout.